Hello.
Hello. Uh-oh. Are you there, Art? That was weird. Are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can
That
you
was
hear me?
that was weird.
I rebuilt my machine and my um, Zoom has been doing some strange things. Let me see.
Okay. If you think it's you, I just upgraded to the latest Zoom this morning, so
Well, I upgraded also, and it has, as I say, been peculiar. Okay.
maybe it's Zoom is the problem, not
I
not
I don't
us.
know. I don't know. I I had the impression there had been some serious changes in Zoom, but I don't know.
Yeah, I rarely read the release notes as to why they change things. I just go, okay, they changed.
Yeah, I my take on it is that I never read the release notes. They tend to be kind of pedantic, so it just you know.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
And uh,
it's usually stuff like we fix this because of this and we fix that because of that and nothing really changed, but this is that and that is this.
well, what I find is a lot of the things don't apply to the Linux version. A lot of times it'll apply to the Windows
It,
version or
yeah. Yeah.
whatever. So, at any rate,
Yeah, we found a vulnerability on Chrome. Okay. I don't use that.
okay. Oh, Steve.
And Steve looks like he's working.
Yeah, it happens on rare occasions.
Uh, so, um, I was I was here. That thought came and went. I have no idea where what I was even. Yeah. So, anything new, Mr. Steve?
No, um, I got to leave early today. I got to drive up to Fairfield, so I'll probably be out about 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Um, no, mostly been planning for a trip we're taking up to or over to Washington D.C. We're going to go to the Smithsonian, and there's a Tutankhamun exhibit. Um, I don't know
Oh,
other stuff.
the Tutankhamun is back.
Yep. Yeah, I
I
missed him the first time around.
I saw it the first time. Well, the first time Tutankhamun was there was Thanksgiving about 1974, and the place was a zoo because the lines to go through the display went out around the building, around the building, and around the building, and it was we were there because we had, let's see, why were we in Washington at that point? I was living in New Jersey at that time, and my soon-to-be ex-wife and my oldest daughter were going to Washington, I think, to visit my ex-wife's aunt. At any rate, we were there and decided to go to this thing, and it was really a zoo. It was their and I think it was the first time that the Tutankhamun display had been there at that point in time, and they had the actual mask. I don't think they send a mask there anymore, but they had the actual gold mask and so forth and so on. It was pretty interesting, but
I would be curious about the space shuttle. They
King Tut was never on it.
no.
yeah, I don't think so.
No, yeah, obviously. But I thought the Smithsonian had one of the space shuttles.
It did at one time. I have no
Mhm.
idea. I've never seen it there, but I think I've only been to the Smithsonian one time. So,
Well, the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base has a mock-up, and they keep saying that it's the same size as the shuttle, and I'm just sit there and look at that and go, it looks awful small. So my curiosity would be piqued next to a real space shuttle for size comparison.
uh-huh.
Because I did actually see the space shuttle on the back of the 747 one year. It landed out here at Wright Pat, and that thing was huge, much, much bigger than I would have thought. But what they've got at the mock-up that they've got doesn't look anywhere near as big as what it looked like on the back of a 747. But that may just be me. I may.
So looking at the Wikipedia page, they list it as being 184 feet high, but I think that may be the height of the boosters and everything, not
Everything.
just the shuttle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I thought the shuttle itself was about 65 or 70 feet long.
Okay.
Good grief. It had 135 launches.
Well, yeah,
For for all the shuttles you're talking about, not
Maybe,
for
yeah. Yeah.
they they were launching that thing so often that people they just stopped reporting it because it was being launched so much. But
Of course, the Falcon 9 has been launched a few times more than that. So I am very amused right now about the business with Boeing and not being able to get their astronauts back and all the things that have been revealed in that process. And you'd think, well, geez, just have SpaceX setting up something, but it turns out the spacesuit isn't compatible between the two. Uh, so SpaceX would have to send up one of their or two of their spacesuits that fit the current astronauts, and then they could put them on the SpaceX whatever and bring them back. But they've really built themselves into a corner. And of course, Boeing, I mean, be candid, I get nervous every time I get on a Boeing plane these days. I mean, it's just the same engineering crew.
I haven't really been following. I know that Boeing has a ship that's stuck up there. I know they had several problems even getting it to launch in the first place. And I know that the two launch suits are completely incompatible with each other, which is something that I would have thought, based on Apollo era stuff, NASA would have gone, hey, maybe you two should get together and work out launch suits together. But because they had a very similar problem with CO2 scrubbers in the limb and the CO2 scrubbers in the command module being very incompatible with each other, and that problem got corrected. But you would have thought they would learn something from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, the Boeing situation has been a debacle for a long time, and
Yeah.
I just and NASA keeps pouring money into them. It's like, well, you didn't get it right this time, but maybe if we give you another 50 billion or so, you might.
Well, they keep pouring money into SpaceX too, so
Well, that's true, but SpaceX performs. There's a
their Fal
big,
their, their Falcon 9s perform.
well, but their delivery system performs too. I mean, they really.
I but they're still years behind on Starship. I mean, years behind on Starship. And it really hasn't started showing real promise until this past year.
Well, it's delivered crews
Not
to.
Starship. Starship, the big thing. The
one they want to
Oh,
take to Mars.
Starship is years behind where it should be.
okay,
But
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 they still are able to deliver safely crews to
well,
the space station.
yeah, but they're doing that with the Falcons.
They can be doing it with a bicycle, as far as I'm concerned. They they're doing it. Boeing is not doing it.
Yeah,
So,
I will give you that. Boeing is not performing up to speed either. But
and they've had a hell of a lot more money too. The stipends to SpaceX have not been the same as they have been to Boeing. You know, the soon to be ex CEO of Boeing was interviewed by the congressional committee, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And he getting paid something like 38 million a year. And I just wondered, hey, you know,
yeah, well,
he, by the way, is no longer associated with Boeing. So,
Yeah.
Soon to be X. Although I'm not sure the temporary guy they've got in there now is any better.
Well, I know Boeing has had this past couple of years, they have had a lot of problems.
Well, going back 5, 6 years ago when they
Yeah.
crashed those two planes, it isn't this last week. It's
No,
years.
it's been a few years. I know they had that all those fires on board the planes when they switched to lithium ion batteries or
Yeah,
lithium polymer batteries or whatever.
I think those first showed up on the 777 or 787, one of those
Yeah,
two.
they were relatively new technology being tried for the first time or something on the planes, and we all see how well that went.
Yeah,
It did not go good.
yeah.
So I missed that whole thing.
What
They
whole?
they had lithium batteries going pop on
Oh
airplanes.
yeah, they. I think it was a 777,
It, it,
uh, and they had put lithium batteries in various locations in that model that airplane, and it was not ready for prime time. Let's say that they had a JAL sitting in Kennedy for a while that they didn't dare take off because of the fires. And JAL is a pretty decent international airline. So,
yeah,
I mean, the Japanese generally try to get it right.
yeah. It that I'm surprised you missed that, Steve. That was huge. They were having cargo. The batteries were down in the cargo hold and just would
Yeah,
burst into flames.
yeah.
Oops.
Well, they were trying something new and they didn't understand what they were doing, and then they couldn't figure out what they needed to do to fix it. And it took them forever to figure out how to fix it.
So they just replaced lead acid batteries with those and didn't put in any battery management or something.
I am not real sure what the ultimate ending of all that was, but yes, they basically replaced stuff without understanding what they were replacing.
Hmm.
And
Well,
it
what they
it was a
did,
new design and it was a new plane. So there were like a bunch of different factors that went into what they were doing. It wasn't just that they replaced something on an older design. It was they
yeah,
redesigned this whole thing.
it was a new plane and a new battery technology, and
And they didn't quite understand it.
apparently not. But it was one of the big ones. It was either 777 or 787.
Yeah, 787 sounds right to me, but I'm not sure which one it was. It was one of their new planes, and it was a new design. It was they flew for a while, and then all of a sudden they just started bursting into flames. Like, how lithium ion batteries might decide to do that.
Yeah.
Well, the first time that they had problems on planes with lithium ion batteries had nothing to do with the plane. It was the one of the early Apple
Yep,
laptops,
yep.
the batteries in there. And now anymore, when you go to the counter to get your boarding pass, they specifically ask you, do you have any lithium ion devices in your luggage?
Yep.
And that's routinely they ask you that. And of course, the safe answer is no. But but the airlines are really sensitive about that, and you know, since I'm the one flying on the plane, I appreciate that they are sensitive about that.
Yeah. Even if you have batteries shipped to you, they have to be handled in a certain way,
Yeah,
especially if they're going to go on a plane. They they really take they really take these lithium ions to a new level.
well, particularly from Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
they've got a thing that goes right on the box.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it's a label specifically for lithium ion batteries
Yep.
that I think that they have to go some kind of ground rather than air, but I don't know. I all I know is I've seen that sticker on the side of things that
They might have changed the rule, but last I looked into it, your battery had to be in the device. It had to be like several inches thick of packaging around the device itself so that something couldn't just poke into the device and poke the battery. Um, and something else. There were a half a dozen, but basically was a box within a box within a box, and your battery is in the middle so that stuff can't poke it.
you know,
Um, and then they label them up with these fire hazard and lithium battery warnings and whatever. And then I guess as long as you're sure that they meet the criteria, they will put them on a plane and send them up. So, because I have ordered a few things from China, and they all come with that sticker on them that say
yeah,
fire hazard, blah blah blah. Even
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 little flashlights.
yeah, even my cell phone when I got it, it was double boxed. The battery's already in here. It was double boxed and um it had a sticker on the outside that said fire hazard. I'm pretty sure it came ground, but they take all that stuff very serious.
Well, lithium, lithium, magnesium, everything at that corner of the chart is spontaneously flammable.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
I remember when I was in, I think, I don't remember whether it was college or high school. I think it was college. Professor did a demo with various sodium and lithium and calcium isn't a problem, but
Phosphorus.
I'm sorry.
Phosphorus.
Yeah, it was one of those things where everybody suited up. Now, this is in the 60s, all right. This is long before OSHA was a thing. And everybody suited up and everybody put face masks on. We all looked like a bunch of, uh, you know, uh, we were going to watch atomic explosion or something. And then he got into his zoot suit, and it was a pretty impressive pyrotechnic. Didn't so much explode, but it blossomed into flame, and magnesium's like that also, because at one point the Formula One cars decided to try and save weight by putting aluminum, magnesium bodies on them. Well, okay, so you got a Formula One car, you got their 99% fuel tank, they're going 200 miles an hour around this. And by the way, they're doing it in a car body that you can light with a match. You know, it was just crazy.
Yeah. Isn't magnesium that sparklers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they use that for sparklers. The point is that it is in that same column.
Yeah.
And it spontaneously oxidizes. Otherwise,
Yeah, but not at the rate that the others do. If you get magnesium wet, nothing happens. You get lithium wet, and you've got a
bad things happen.
Brilliant flash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's that corner of the periodic chart that where the nasty
Fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, you think about you're driving around in your Tesla, and the whole base plate for the car is lithium-ion batteries. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd rather not think about that.
Is it really that much different than 10 or 12 gallons of gasoline?
Probably not. Although
there's a lot of energy.
Yeah. Although gasoline isn't spontaneously combustible.
Neither is lithium. If you've just got a piece of lithium sitting there, it's just a piece of lithium. Now, it has some bad effects. If you get it on your skin, it's psychoactive. That's my big issue with it. But it reacts with water.
This is true. Well, lithium makes you happy.
Yeah.
So it is used specifically.
It's a happy drug.
Well, it's used for a number of.
It's a mood stabilizer mostly.
Yeah.
Helps get rid of the ups and downs.
The I don't know. Lithium on the bottom of a
doorbell just rang. Just a minute.
Uh-oh.
Find out if they bring cookies.
Cookies. Oh, the grandkids and Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. $85 for popcorn.
They saw you coming.
Oh my God. I actually looked at him because we usually buy the stuff even if we don't use it or whatever. Because it's the grandkid. I looked at him and said, "Are you high?" He went, "What, Papple?" I am not paying $85 for no popcorn. Go find me something else to buy. Cheaper.
This had to have been late 2018 or early 2019. I went to Bass Pro Shop up at Forest Fair Mall, and there were a bunch of scouts there, and they were selling bags of potato chips.
Okay.
Like, they asked me, "Do you want to buy a bag of chips?" Yeah, okay, fine. And this was a 250 bag of chips, and it was $13. That was the last thing I bought from Boy Scouts.
You know those popcorn tins that
Mhm.
that's what he was selling, but I think those are like 13 or $14 in the store.
Oh, they're $5 at Aldi's around Christmas.
Okay. I mean, they're certainly not $85 worth of popcorn,
No,
but
not
that's
unless
what
it's just kernels.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. I didn't ask him that. I guess that would have been worth $85, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe if it all popped.
you can probably buy a 20-pound bag of popcorn kernels at Jungle Gyms for around $30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I I I know what I mean, they've partnered with somebody and they're not really getting a wholesale price. They're getting you know, you go and sell the stuff. We will give it to you, but this is the cost. It costs you this much. So you've got to sell it for this much to make any kind of money. It's almost like the high schoolers selling the mattresses out on the road, where the mattresses are you, they partner up with like a store that sell a furniture store,
Yeah,
but they're selling retail. They and then they mark it up 10% so that they could actually make money. They're selling them for retail plus 10%.
I've never
So
run
this,
into this one.
Oh,
so this is like Boy Scouts and that sort
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah. My grandkid, he's either a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout, and they're selling popcorn for $85 a tub. And
This is unpopped.
I think it's popped. I think it's got three. I think it's one of those tubs that you get like at Kroger's for like $13, and it's a decent sized tub, and it's got three chambers in it. It's got like caramel and butter and
Oh, okay.
something else. So that's what I think they're selling. It, it might be a little bit bigger, but it's $85. And there's no popcorn in the world that's worth $85.
You know, well, if you go to a local movie house,
Yeah,
uh, you get one that's about that big in diameter
right,
and about that
right.
deep, and those are $10 or something like that, or at
Yeah.
least last time I was in a movie house, they were $10.
Of course, the movie theater that we went to closed, probably because they were selling stuff too cheap. But our local movie theater, um, so it wasn't a big tub, but it was, a medium-sized tub of popcorn, two drinks, and free refills on both the drinks and the popcorn for as long as you were in the theater watching a movie. And it was $15.
Oh, that's low.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they
Yeah.
were
yeah. I was
they
thinking you meant Danbury at first, but they were even more than that.
no, this was the people that bought Danbury were trying to do low cost
here in Eastgate, it was RJ Cinemas. Ron James Distillery or something like that. And it's actually pretty cool. They took out every other row of seats.
Yeah.
At one point, I think they had waitresses that were bringing stuff to your seat because there's a push button. I don't think they're doing that anymore. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You can get a meal and take it in and sit down and watch a movie.
This, well, you know, the theater up on the corner of 122 and Old 25.
No, sorry.
It used to be something, and then Danbury bought them, and then Danbury closed it, and then somebody else bought it, and then they closed it, and then somebody else bought it. The last person that owned it went back to a lower cost on everything. I mean, we watched Batman, the Batman, there, and everywhere else it was like $20 a ticket. It cost us $20 for two people to go and watch it. First run, first movie, nothing fancy. I mean, you don't get IMAX, you don't get 3D, you don't get any fancy features that other theaters would have, but it was a fantastic deal because for like less than $30, $35, it would have cost us $70 if we went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Easy $70 if we went somewhere else. Now maybe we would have gotten better seats. Maybe we would have gotten, slightly different service, but $35, popcorn, all you can eat popcorn, all you could drink, and 2 movie tickets. You can't really ask for much more than that.
There's only so much popcorn you can eat, though. I have discovered that.
Well, the guy who was running the place, he even told us, he said, our best deal is the medium popcorn. He wanted us to buy the medium popcorn. He didn't want us to buy the large popcorn. He said the best deal is the medium popcorn. It comes with 2 drinks and a medium popcorn and free refills. So, but the large popcorn costs more, doesn't come with the drinks, and doesn't get the refills.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But he also realized probably 90% of the people that buy the medium popcorn don't get the refills. I mean, the drinks were fairly decent sized drinks. The popcorn was more than enough to fill us up. And even sitting there for a 3-hour movie, I didn't want to get up. I wanted to see that movie. I didn't care if I had popcorn or not. I wanted to see that movie. So
Marla and I watched Deadpool and Wolverine over at RJ Cinema, and that's like half a mile from our house. Good movie, by the way. That was, I just looked it up, $5 a ticket.
oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Was that a matinee?
That was 7:00 on a Tuesday.
Wow. Okay.
7 p.m., just to clarify.
Wow.
So that's in Eastgate someplace?
Yeah.
That's a great deal.
It's on the other side of 32 from Eastgate Mall, next to Jungle Gyms. If you're
yeah, I know.
It used to be Danbury Dollar Saver, and then it closed for quite a while. RJ Cinemas bought it, and now it's RJ Cinema and Tap Room.
Well,
so you can get beer, and they've got some food.
That's where they're making their money from.
Yeah, we got one drink to split and a large popcorn, which I think we should have gone smaller. And I think that was like twice as much as the tickets.
Yeah. The
This is over there next to the Rincon
Yep, right next to it,
Mexican restaurant. Yeah, yeah.
which is a good restaurant. Eat there first and then go catch a movie.
years ago, probably, I know it was before COVID. It probably was a couple years before that. We went to I don't remember what the theater was. It's one of the big ones. It's one of the huge chains, and they have dinner service during the production. And our tickets were relatively affordable,
Hmm.
but by the time you get done with dinner being brought to you, we spent $100 there easy.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, two meals was right around $50. It was, but I gotta say, reclining chairs in a movie theater, that's the
Oh
way to
yeah.
watch a movie.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I agree with you there. We have those in one of the local shopping centers in Fremont, California, and it is the lap of luxury.
Yeah.
You're also insulated from the kids that are spilling their drink down the floor underneath you, and the seats are comfortable and so forth and so on.
The movie that we saw didn't take advantage of it, but apparently these seats have slight motion to them. They've got uh,
The Tingler.
little shakers in them or whatever. And apparently, if the right movie takes advantage of that, then everybody's chair would go. So
Okay.
it's it's just another gimmick, and I think that even costs a little bit more because they actually have to use power to make those chairs do something. But the, that was the way to watch a movie. Now, the theater I'm talking about, when I went to see the Batman, it's just a theater. That's all it was. There was nothing special. It wasn't special chairs or anything. It was old school. Go to the theater. I think they did probably take out a few seats to just give you a little bit more room in there, but it it was an old school style theater. You just go in, watch the movie, and be happy. And be happy it didn't
Hmm.
cost you a fortune to do it.
Hmm.
The only cheap theater I knew of up near Middletown was Danbury, back just south of Dayton Mall. I don't remember what that road is, but it's the road that
Yeah,
parallels
yeah.
75 there.
There is a theater back there. I don't know what that is now.
Near
Uh,
Harbor Freight.
when I went to high school, which was many hundreds of years ago, there was
Not as many hundred years ago as it was for me.
okay. There was a small movie theater in the uh shopping center there on Brio behind Burger King, and it they they were the dollar theater. You could go in there and spend a couple of bucks and see a movie, and uh they they did not get first run stuff though. It was all stuff that was, years old. But
Yeah.
they had decent stuff. It just was really old stuff. Um,
Public domain movies.
it wasn't quite that bad, but it was stuff that had gone through its first and probably its second run of
Run. Yeah.
yeah. And so it was, they already made their money off of it, so they let cheap theaters show it or
You
community.
talking that little strip mall that's as you're, you
You know where Burger King is.
yeah.
That strip mall.
Okay. I did some network job there. I'm trying to think what.
This
Don't remember.
it was a little theater. They had two theaters. Uh, it barely looked like it was big enough to actually hold two theaters, but there were two theaters, a little concession. They only showed movies at certain times. I mean, they only had movies, I think, 3 times a day or something. You could get a matinee, early evening, and a late showing. But it all of them cost $1.
Nice.
That's what it costs to get in. So,
Well, I've got one for you. You may appreciate it. Isn't the cheap seats, but I've done this one a couple of times. Cincinnati Dinner Train. If you like trains, it's pretty cool. They've got like 6 cars. They're all set up as dining cars. They leave from LaSantaville. Oh shoot. There used to be a big station there. I'm trying to remember what that part of town is called. But it leaves from just north of Norwood, goes down, follows Red Bank around Lunken Airport, then back in towards the city. They bring you your food while you're on the way into Cincinnati. And about the time you're finishing up, they turn around and bring everything back. There's performers on there, the Cincinnati Sisters, they're doing Andrew's Sisters stuff. And it's definitely set for a 40s theme.
okay.
A lot of fun. Pretty good food. Surprisingly good food. But it's $120 a person too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Patty was on vacation, we were going to go ride the train in Lebanon.
Oh yeah, been on that one.
For whatever, she didn't want to go, so I'm glad I didn't buy the tickets for it. But that's another budget friendly train ride if you like that. I think their dinner train was a little bit more, but
Oh, I didn't know they had a dinner train.
yeah, they've got a dinner train, but I don't remember what it was. It's 2 or 3 hour thing, and they serve you dinner.
Yeah.
Um,
Now,
they're
where was this?
Lebanon in Lebanon. Um,
Okay.
their standard train though is like $15 or $20 a person. It goes an hour, turns around, comes back. Um, we weren't going to do the dinner train because what they were offering for eats did not appeal to me at all. But she likes trains. I am indifferent to trains.
Oh, I love trains.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, they've got a steam engine up there too.
Yep. Yeah. But let
And
me
that's booking right now.
let me
Oh
show
no.
let me show you
So,
this before Steve has to leave.
okay.
This is my setup. Steve shared his setup
Nice.
a couple of weeks ago. This is currently my setup I had to take it from high up because it's basically I'm against the wall and this is facing the rest of the room. And that's one machine, two machine, three machine, and just a monitor. And that's on a 3-stack shelf. And you can see the printer back there, one of the printers. And that's slightly different, gives it a little bit better angle. And then when I'm doing the meeting, I pull a table over. So now I'm trapped in my little cubicle because the table is blocking the entrance. And I'm on the laptop. And then that's the thing
That's behind you, isn't
that's behind me. And that's doing the P25 scanning uh for the police and fire. So when you hear the police and fire, that's where that's coming from.
it? Okay.
Cool.
And that's it. No more.
So those wire shelves,
Yeah.
right now at Sam's Club, they have those on sale. They're the 4 feet wide, 18-inch deep, 6 foot tall, 6 shelves with wheels for $99.
It's not
That's a
bad.
good deal.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
They're
That's
normally 120. So, I mean,
But
it's not, that's it. I've got 4 of them and I'm getting a 5th and 6th now.
120 is still a really good deal because mine don't have wheels and I don't think they're that deep, but I got them from IKEA. And when I was buying them from IKEA, they were like $50. And then the pandemic came, and now they're like $150 for the same freaking shelf. And they don't have wheels, and they're not as deep. And I'm just going, oh, you.
well,
The ones at Sam's Club come with leveling feet also, and they're rated
really.
1,200 pounds on the leveling feet or 900 pounds on the wheels. So they're pretty well built.
Yeah. Well, if I had more room for more shelves, could use them, but I don't have any more room, so.
But they're on wheels. You can pack them a lot tighter and just pull out the one you need.
I've got a whole bunch of those little furniture coasters, and I've got all my shelves of furniture coasters. I just furniture coaster them around,
Yep.
move them around. Uh, this metal shelf right here is an outdoor garden shelf, and it was $20 at IKEA, and it's now up to like 37 or something. It's insane. Shelves are insanely overpriced. Ray showed up. I don't know if anybody saw that, but hi, Ray.
Hello.
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 Salute.
But yes,
Hello.
Hello.
So I'm here.
Anything new?
Not really. My shipping container came in, and now I have like 154 rolls of filament because that was one of the extra things I bought for the shipment. Anything else? No, not really. Playing with lasers. I designed a new Bluetooth speaker. That was cool. See if I can I share my screen?
Should be able to. If you can figure out the iPhone app, you should be able to do it.
Yeah. Share photos and okay, got it.
So are you in your truck or what?
I'm not allowed to admit that kind of stuff right now.
Oh,
He can
You're
neither
in-
confirm or deny.
I
So
can
you're,
neither confirm nor deny. Right.
so you're on deep background now, huh?
Something like that. Let's see if I can share another picture of these photos. I don't want that one. That one was a bad photo. Um, um, so I designed several things actually. Are you guys able to see the Bluetooth speaker there now?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So if you look close, there's like this head unit, like it looks like a radio head unit, and it plays MP3 files off of a USB drive or from an SD drive. It'll do FM, Bluetooth, little equalizer, and I can put different kinds of little head units in this. This is just a standard little head unit. Two nice little speakers. They're about I don't know, about 2.5 inches diameter. These are speakers that I actually recovered out of an old treadmill that somebody was going to throw away. So I grabbed these really nice speakers. Um, and then I thought, hey, I'm just going to build this stuff. In the back, there's a power jack and on-off switch. I can't remember if I took a picture of the back or not. No. But you can see the split, the alternating lines in the wood where it actually is bent. So I'm using a technique called a living hinge, and that allows me to bend the 1/8 plywood and kind of wrap it around the corners. The top, back, and bottom are actually made out of 1/4-inch plywood, and I'm using this kind of a dovetail technique that I use a lot in laser machines. But it's a neat little project. I think my total invested money for this is about right now. I think we're about $8 for that, not including like actually paying for speakers. When I was at Parts Express a couple weekends ago, I got a whole bunch of different speakers, and I'm going to be designing more of these boxes and just trying to see what they sound like, how much airspace they need, and physical size of the layout. I want to do one that's really like short, only about 2 inches tall. This one here is about 4 inches tall, and it's a neat little layout. I like it.
Did
Um,
the Bluetooth player come from Parts Express?
no, it did not. They want way too much for the
Yeah, they
Bluetooth player, and it's
yeah, they
almost
do.
exactly the same thing. I can buy them from AliExpress or Temu or whatever for like $3 or $4 at most.
Yeah.
And I think Parts Express wants almost $20 for one of the versions, and it's just too much. So I'm scrolling through some of these pictures. I don't know if you guys have seen me scrolling.
Yep.
But, so up there.
Okay.
Then we got this. It looks like it's somebody's wearing sunglasses, and it's actually a wedge. And this is for my ICOM radio to sit on top of this, and it kind of tilts the radio back so that you can see the display on the radio better, and it uses external speakers. So these are two 16-ohm speakers from Parts Express. You put them in parallel, and they come out as 8 ohms. Sounds pretty good, but it looks funny, like somebody's watching you. So I ended up switching over to a single larger speaker that's 8 ohms, and without increasing the size of the box wedge underneath of it. I don't like this project specifically, and the reason is because all of those dovetails like at least 50% of dovetails require manually adjusting the angles because there's a wedge in the whole box. We look at the other Bluetooth, this right here, and all of the dovetails, these tabs and slots, they're all 90 degrees. The only place that we have any curves or bends is actually in that front 1/8 inch living hinge piece. So this is actually, the Bluetooth box here is really easy to put together. It's easy to laser cut, and it's a pretty simple project. Where the wedge, that's a pain. It probably took me as long to design this and put it together, and the Bluetooth box is easier. It took a lot more math to do this, obviously, but I designed it with AutoCAD.
Cool.
Very cool.
That was my weekend project, something I just wanted to build.
Unfortunately, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
It was nice
Talk
to
to
see
you
you.
later.
We'll see you later.
Take care.
Oh. Very cool. I played robots.
Okay.
So I've been going through all the code that has been living on my machines, making to see if it works or not work anymore, and what needs to be changed if it's not working, and that's been a project in itself. But I get sidetracked. I start testing code, and then I get sidetracked on, oh, I can make it do this, or I can make it do that. And I spent like several hours just playing around with making this do things that I didn't think about making it do before. So.
Oh.
And I also was able to grab all the old projects and everything from Jim that I could find that he still had on his in his document box, and I put a message in the email I sent that I've got those now, and I'm suggesting to upload those to GitHub to
Okay.
archive them a little bit better, so that we will have more better access to them. Because Barry had suggested that he had lost access to some of that stuff, and I'm not sure if he did or not. I was able to get probably 98% of it, 99% of it. So I think putting it on GitHub probably will make sense, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's really all I know. That's all I.
Okay, I have to take a bio break here, so hold that thought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff did you end up getting at Parts Express? Did they actually have some decent deals?
I guess you're talking to me.
Yeah. You're
Okay.
you're the only one left right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know who all else was here, if it's Vicente or anybody. So yeah, while I was there, I picked up probably 8 different kinds of speakers, and they ranged anywhere from like 29 cents, 45 cents, 89 cents, $3. There are a couple that are really nice ones. I think in the end, the $3 ones, because they were on sale and I bought both, I think I paid like $2 each for them. I bought 50 of them. And those are going to be for my Bluetooth speaker project.
Okay.
I want my son and I to build some Bluetooth speakers and sell them as DIY kits on eBay. So we need to be able to do about 100 kits to really make it worth it.
Right.
But the stuff that we should be selling, I've seen some DIY kits on eBay, and they are not that great. So I wanted some stuff that really looked appealing, sounds good, and it's just something that you could put on your desk, and it's it's kind of like a coffee table book. Somebody walks up and they see your Bluetooth speaker, like, that thing's cool. How did you make that? Where'd it come from? Oh, the kit I bought off of eBay. Blah blah blah.
Oh, first I had to spend, $7,000 on a laser cutter, and
That's true. Yeah. But I mean, not just for me. Somebody else could buy the DIY kit.
yeah,
And so I've been exploring with different people lately of like, what do you think the value is on this? If you bought it on eBay, are you looking for a really fantastic price? What kind of price is this? How much would you spend on it? Do you feel like you want to receive it pre-built, or do you want to receive it as something you need to build yourself? Do you want all the parts included, or do you feel like, hey, I want to go out and buy the glue, I need to buy my own tape, I need to buy this stuff, buy that stuff, whatever, and buy your own stain, urethane? Yeah, I don't want to sell people the urethane. I don't want to sell them the glue.
yeah,
But I do want to sell them the main wood and the power switch, the power connector, the speakers, those things that are required to fit. That way they're not trying to chop it apart on their own. Yeah, I've had people tell me anywhere from $50 to about $100 for that kit.
wow.
And I have not had anybody say less than $50 for that kit. So it makes you feel good.
You haven't talked to me yet.
Oh, well, sorry. That kit is supposed to have a Bluetooth head unit. So that's a piece of electronics. An actual amplifier. So you're not just pushing straight out of the head unit. You need to have something that with dedicated sound, audio control, a 18650 battery pack, and a charger circuit board.
Okay.
Plus wiring. So it's there's some stuff there. You're learning the different parts of an audio system. There was one guy that student I was talking to recently. He says he didn't have any experience at all on audio systems until he ripped apart his truck to put in new speakers, and just he wished he would have known better. I was like, yep, I get it.
Well, I didn't realize all that extra stuff was in there. So
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the amplifier, the 18650 batteries,
right,
the battery holder, which it is a wall mount unit, or it mounts to the side of the speaker box on the inside, and the charger. So that all that stuff together, that's what really works.
I retract my skepticism. $50 probably is a fair price.
Yeah, well, it's going to have a external 12-volt, 2-amp power supply.
Right.
Yeah. That's actually pretty expensive on its own.
I get it. I didn't realize that all those parts were there. I really
Okay.
didn't. So, you know,
but yeah, otherwise,
I was just thinking, wow, it's a piece of wood with a few speakers and a $3 Bluetooth thing.
well, once you get better Bluetooth pieces, you're looking closer to $5. The
Yeah.
amplifier is about $5.
I'm
Connectors, not that big. All the connectors and the switch and the wire, you might maybe 50 cents.
yeah.
Um, the
I
plywood, that's a 5-layer, 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter plywood, and it takes about 2 foot by 2 foot section to make that kit. So that's a pricey little piece of plywood.
right. No, I
Hopefully
get
I
it.
don't mess up any of it.
I get it. It it's more than what the picture is. The
Oh
picture
yeah,
doesn't do it justice, basically.
that's right.
So I get it.
Yep. But, it's still it's a really cool kit. We're being recorded, but I have a company that is interested in possibly licensing that design, or they want me to design stuff that is very similar to this to match their speakers. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. And they might want me to build like the first 100 of them. And I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. Yeah.
Cool. Yes,
Uh,
yes, you've got to be careful about what you say. We are being recorded.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm very upbeat, positive about that. And if it doesn't come through for that company with me, then I'm still going to want me and Aiden to design some more of these and sell them on our own.
I could see that being a
It'd be a
secondary.
great high school project for him.
Well, I was going to say I could see it being a secondary thing to like what you do at Hamvention. Just have kits already made up and sell them there at Hamvention.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe even customize them a little. We could put your name on it or your call sign on it.
Yeah, we could, but then it makes it almost impossible to sell in the future. Unless you put like a little plaque on the front, a screw-on plaque.
But if I were to buy it and it was mine, why would I want to sell it?
I think everybody has something for sale in the future. Eventually, everything's for sale.
Eventually, everything's for sale. That is true.
Yep.
Or if it's not for sale, it goes away somehow or another. It finds its way to the parts bin in the sky.
Yep. Anyway, I am trying to improve the design. Because I mean, literally, I spent half of my day on Sunday with my son Aiden, and then at about 4 o'clock, I decided, I need to make some of these Bluetooth speaker boxes. So I designed the wedge for the ICOM 9300, and then I designed a really small. It's like only maybe 7-8 inches by 2 inches by 2 inches. Oh, 2.5 by 2.5 inches. It's pretty small little Bluetooth speaker box. It's something that a 7th or 8th grader could wire up together in less than 30 minutes. So, I got those two done, and I was like, these are kiddie toys. This is easy, basic stuff. I want something that is much more substantial, something that I can be really proud of, something that somebody walks in a room and they got to say, "Wow, that's different."
Are you, when you wire that stuff up, are you using those DuPont cables, or did you go with something else?
I'm using the connector styles that come on that little head unit, and it
Okay,
is like a micro JST.
gotcha.
I've got the information on them back at my shop, but I'm trying to match the connectors that are coming with the electronics. In some cases, it might be like a ferrule on the end of a wire. In other
Right,
cases, it's a pre-crimped connector, and yeah.
gotcha.
But
I
and sometimes it's just a soldered wire on a connector or on
yeah,
a switch, because that's
yeah,
the cheap way to go.
that's yeah. I over the many years of playing around with DIY electronics, I have gotten as far away from DuPont cables as I could possibly get. I don't really like them, so
Um, they have their places.
yes, but more times than not, when something doesn't work, it's the cable or the wire. I replace a
I
wire and it
I
starts
agree.
working.
I
So
agree. I've got a 3D printer right now that won't work, and I think it's a crimped wire, kinked wire, something stupid like that again.
I
It's 8 cubic.
oh, okay.
So,
I bought a leveling kit for my reality.
oh yeah.
That's going to be fun. Yeah, I either have it too high or too low. I can't get it quite right. So I figured if I buy a leveling kit, that will correct for whatever little flaws I've got in the bed. You know,
Okay. It definitely does take some practice of how to get the bed level and how much filament is adhering to the bed on the first layer.
yeah, that one is I mean, I don't have a problem with my other 3D printers. They all level up really nice, but the Creality seems to be a little bit more picky about it. And
A little bit
it
more
it
finicky.
it gives better prints, but it's way more picky about where the bed is. So I
Yeah.
said, the heck with it, $20. I'll buy a I'll buy a kit, and I found a kit uh from Creality on eBay for $20, and I was like, "Yep, that's an
So
easy that's an easy choice." So
okay, well just make sure that you get the appropriate firmware to match it.
yeah, I know. I gotta get the new firmware for it, but that should be easy enough to fix because I've already flashed the firmware during all that time when I was trying to figure out what was going on with it. So
Yeah.
I was like, what the
We've been
heck?
using, I think it's 1.07, 1.08 as the proper firmware for these.
Yeah, I don't
The
remember. I
Ender
don't
3
remember.
V2.
Do what?
Yeah. Ender 3 V2.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember which firmware it was. It was whatever was current when I was messing with it. So,
I just feel like the bed moves every 2 or 3 prints. It's already flexed into a different position. I don't know if the springs just aren't stiff enough or something.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's like the whole frame bed moves.
that's pretty much what I see with it. Is every 2 or 3 prints I'm having to re-level the stupid thing. And
But okay.
And the other thing that kind of bugs me about it is how they've got the glass attached to the bed.
The two little clips on the corner.
Oh God, I hate those 2 little clips.
It's not so bad. I guess I don't know a whole lot better. You know, I don't know much else of what's on the market. They do make that magnetic bed. That's pretty cool. But the thing I don't like about the magnetic bed is that after a while, it deforms, it rips and tears, all kinds of stuff. So I don't know.
My other 2 printers, I put a magnetic bed on both of those. And I really like the magnetic bed, and I've been
We can do that
threatening.
to the ender too.
Yeah, I've been threatening the ender with a magnetic bed, and so far it's been fine-ish. But I really hate those stupid clips. Every time I go to get a print off, I pop a clip. I'm like, what the hell?
You're expected to.
Yeah, except the last time I popped a clip, it went somewhere, and I
It's
haven't
fine.
found it since. It's
Yep.
I put some big springy paper clip thingies on it, and that seems to hold it a little bit better. But
Okay.
it's not right. So
Yeah. Every once in a while, I just scream, "Oh Jesus!" I flip that clip off of there.
yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've the magnetic beds that I bought for mine, um they're not bad per se. I do see them getting a little warped, and all I really have to do is buy a new top piece for the magnet. So I think the actual magnet part of it is fine. I just think it's the top piece that gets a little warped.
Yeah.
So then when I go to buy a magnetic bed for this one, I'll probably put 2 or 3 of them in the cart and buy 2 or 3 of them at a time, so I'll have extras.
What do those magnetic beds cost?
Oh, I think I paid $6 coming from China.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah,
That's all?
it,
Good Lord.
I bought generic. I mean, why would I buy a name brand for $30 or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Well, it's just like you and your Bluetooth. Why would you spend $20 on a Bluetooth when you can get it for
Well,
$5?
so, the one thing I'm really looking for is a cheap Bluetooth module that I can reprogram the broadcast name on it. That's what's been getting me. I want something I can reprogram.
I I don't know. It's been a while since I've messed with any of that stuff. I knew what Parts Express was selling was expensive, but when we had the shop, we had an earlier version of that same Bluetooth module, and it had an FM
Yeah.
radio built into it, and it would read from SD and USB and something else, and it was pretty nice. I think we spent $20 for it, and I'm pretty sure it had the amplifier and everything built into it. But it was all right. It wasn't bad. I remember sitting there thinking it would be nice if it would display like the name of the song or something, which the early model didn't do. You could play MP3s from it or whatever, and it wouldn't displayed the track or whatever. It was just telling you it was playing an MP3, and you're like, well, yeah, I know that. But I guess the newer models have improved significantly.
Yeah.
But so
All right. Well, I missed last week, so I did. What did I miss?
pretty much the same old, same old. I've been messing with testing old code and testing old hardware.
Okay.
Remember that robot, Ray? Maybe
Looking.
not.
Okay.
That's a TI RSLK on a Pulu chassis. And it was something
Okay.
that TI and Pulu got together with and made, and now TI doesn't support it anymore. That was fun getting all the software gathered up and getting it to work, because this thing was sitting brand new in a box for like 3 years, 4 years, maybe longer than that. And I'm not real sure why they stopped supporting it, but the new version of Linux was not happy with it, and that was a lot of fun getting it to work. But now I got it. But this is what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, and TI has like scrubbed the internet and has removed almost all the information you could find about this thing. It's gone. It's like, okay, you don't even leave it up for
That's
historical purposes.
so nice of them.
Yeah, like they don't even want to be associated with it anymore. Hulu still had some stuff, and you could still find some stuff from private individuals on GitHub, but every thing official from TI was gone.
Okay.
So that's always fun. And I made it to that. Ooh.
So have you now got the firmware on Wix?
I did not do that. I can do that. I could probably put it on GitHub. It'd probably be better on GitHub.
Okay.
I could at least document what I found and where I found it at, because there I found basically a guy who, as TI was deleting stuff, he was copying it to his GitHub repository. So he's got most of it, but not all of it. But it seems like that whole entire project just disappeared. Um, and I was having a problem because, like, the modern version of Linux uh is using Python 3, and it wants Python 2, and he helped me out tremendously getting stuff working with that. So yeah, I probably could document all that stuff, because uh I'm probably the only weirdo left playing with one of these things in the modern age. But, but.
what I've been doing to all my students that I've been dealing with past couple days. They'll look at some of the projects coming out of Laser, and they're like, "That's so cool." I was like, "No, no, no, no. You have to say, Ray, you are so cool."
Ray.
Leroy, you are
Ray.
so cool.
I can blink lights. You know, I always said that was the first thing you should do to learn how to make something work.
Blink a light.
Learn how to make something work. Blinking lights. He does. He has the guy that's on GitHub that's got most of the repository and most of the information. He has stuff about the board. He doesn't really have stuff about the robot, which is fun because I'm figuring out stuff just based on a few snippets of code that I can find. And the old libraries that are left. I'm going, okay, that's cool. And apparently, well, back in the day, TI had a separate IDE for this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that project hasn't been updated since 2016. So that's probably when I got this robot. So, and that I can still get some information from that old project, but they're not updating that anymore, and they're telling everybody to install to use Arduino, the Arduino IDE, but even it didn't really work well with the modern thing because it's looking for Python 2 instead of Python 3. But eventually we got it working, so, or I should say I got it working. The guy helped me, but he just kept saying you could try this and you could try this, and I'm like, I tried everything, and finally the last thing he told me to try was like, okay, it worked. So yeah, I probably need to document all that. Somebody might actually. I just get the feeling I'm the only weirdo playing with this thing. And then I've been going through code. Do we remember this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it. I haven't played with it yet. It's
That old junk. Yeah. Hey, I got a question for you. Have you seen that new board? I don't even know if it's really all that new, but it does time of flight light detection. So basically, it's like the ultrasonic distance measurement, but it's doing it with light, and you talk to it through I2C. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I saw a video on it the other day,
do you know the model number of it?
and it's accurate to within like 1 or 2 millimeters, and it doesn't care if it's cloth or a hard material. And it works on time of flight. I thought, well, that was cool. I can see if I can track it down. And but they were saying it was like less than $6.
Okay.
And it was really simple. It looks basically like a chip on a board with 6 wires going to it. You've got the basic 4 wires that are like connected similar to the ITC. And then it had 2 more. One was general purpose input output. The other one was a shutter, so you could have some protection or something on there.
I mean, I've had time of flight sensors for a while, and they're pretty good. I don't think I've ever paid $6 for one. I think they were all maybe 12.
I was
So
gonna send it to you. You don't care. I don't care anymore.
I don't care anymore. If I just type in time of flight, all I see is stuff I've already knew about or have seen or already own. I don't see anything completely new. That's not to say that there isn't. The one that the board that I really liked was the microwave board. Um, it's 2.4 or maybe 5 gigahertz board that it would give distance, and it had a Bluetooth mode, and you could connect over Bluetooth to it and get distances off of it. And it was cheap. It was like $7 or $8 for one of those.
OURPCB.com.
OUR.
This looks very similar to what I saw before. It might be a different one. I don't know what the price is on it, but this looks very much like what I was looking at earlier.
Okay. All I see OUR PCB. That is a PCB manufacturer.
OURPCB.com. And it's a time of flight sensor, what it is and how it works. Maybe.
Okay. It's well, that explains a lot of the principle of interesting. Okay. If I type OUR PCB and TOF, I get like a Wikipedia page of time of flight sensor that explains how it works. That is wild. Still off of that. I just put a link in the chat. See if that's what you are seeing there, Mr. Ray.
Sorry, I'm actively trying to find it.
It's got like a picture of an infrared heater or something. And then it's got...
I found it on AliExpress.
Did you find it on AliExpress?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's where I...
Yeah, the link that you put up there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
What's
and
the model
these
number?
that I see on AliExpress are like $2.42, $2.51, $4.23. Yeah.
What's the model number?
VL6180.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are different. Huh.
VL53L5X.
5
VL53LDX.
5 3.
$1.47. I mean, these look really cool. 85 cents.
Okay.
VL53LOX.
So the VL53 series, I have a couple of those. Yeah. I have a few of those. Those work really well. But I think the 6180 is different.
I don't know what the difference is, but I mean, I see some that say $14.39 and some that say 85 cents each. So I don't know. $2.02 each, $3.44 each, $12.86 each. Yeah, that's quite a variety. Variations of prices, yeah. But just it basically looks like a piece of plastic glued to a small board with 6 pins on it.
That's kind of a lens cover.
Okay, yeah.
Mine don't have a lens cover. Mine just are
These
open.
look like a chip, right?
Do I?
Oh, yours is open.
Mine's just open. Yeah.
Okay.
And I am fairly sure that what I've got are a member of the 5.3 series, not the 6.1 series. And don't ask me what the difference is. I don't know. But for $2.34, it's worth finding out.
Right.
So I will figure out which time of flight sensors I've got and buy the other ones.
Oh, they look really cool.
Because
hopefully it's not like $5 each or 10 for $12. Here's 10 pieces for $6.76.
There you go. I was going to say, this looks like it is one of the AliExpress deal pages where you have to buy at least 3 items to qualify for the $2.34 price.
Yeah.
But it would be worth, I mean, stick 6 of those in the cart or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this one. It's what's the model number on it? VL53 something.
Yeah.
53OX, VL53LOX,
Yep.
and it's 10 of them for $6.76. I don't know if it's a discount or whatever the heck, but it looks pretty good. And it looks like an 810 SOIC chip on this itty bitty board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would doubt this board is even 3/4 of an inch by 1 inch.
So
If that.
I can't get to mine real fast, but they're tiny. They're less than an inch. They're probably half an inch.
And so I was told that they're good for 2 or 3 meters and accurate to within 1 or 2 millimeters on any material. That sounds cool to me.
They work. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe one of those has a greater range.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking I used time of flight sensors for that neural network robot that I don't have anymore. That I'm fairly sure that thing could see 3 feet, 4 feet. So 2 meters would be what, 3 feet ish?
2 meters is 6 feet.
6 feet?
2 meters is about 6 feet.
Yeah. So maybe I went with the 2 meter. Maybe I need to go with the greater, the 4 meter, and see if there's really any difference. They work just fine. They do exactly what they say. The little ones that I've got, they output a weird it's like a weird format, and you've got to do a conversion to get the actual distance.
The actual distance?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember. I've got the formula somewhere. I don't remember exactly what it was, but like they will give you like up to 10,000 or something, and you've got to do all this math, and 10,000 works out to be like a foot or something. So
Really?
yeah, it's like a really weird. It's a weird numbering system that they've come up with. But I remember I bought them because the quadcopters, some of the really expensive quadcopters use them, and they use them for they're really fast. They're really fast sensors, and they use them for obstacle avoidance. And they also use them to detect how far away from the ground they are. So they've got a couple of them on the bottom of the quad, and they've got a couple of them facing forward of the quad, and they do some weird funky math, and they could tell you how far up and how far away something is.
Okay.
And I don't know what the other pin is for, though. It looks like I'm pretty sure it's I2C. So
there's ground voltage, clock, and
data.
Then
And
there
there's
was
two more.
the general
There's
purpose
two.
input output. Then there's a shutter.
Yeah, I don't know about the shutter. The shutter seems.
I don't know.
I don't either. That seems like a thing. Yeah, if you scroll down in the listing on AliExpress, you will see drones and robots and location detection and vehicle collision avoidance. like full-size vehicle collision avoidance. So they use these things for all kinds of stuff. Shutter. I have no idea what shutter is. Maybe, I don't know. I'll figure out which ones I've got and order the other one and play with them. This definitely looks different than what I've got. Mine does not have the lens cover on it. Mine are just open sensors. You can look right at the sensor.
Okay.
So I don't know how the lens I don't know if the lens cover affects it, maybe it focuses the beam better.
We're gonna find out in 10 years that all these cars that have like obstacle avoidance, there's a car coming up on your back left and it's in your blind spot. We're gonna find out that the sensors had emitters on them that were causing cancer.
It's light.
Okay.
I guess light could cause cancer, but it's light.
Well, certain wavelengths certainly do.
And I mean, early on it was ultrasonic, so sure, maybe. You know, um, the some of the cars early, they had those little round beads. Those were all ultrasonic. But I have seen some that have like the little oval shape, and I bet those are time of flight. The time of flight sensors seem to have an oval shape to them. So do you so the VL 6180, 2 centimeters. Oh, that's the dead zone. That's the dead zone. Up to 50 centimeters. And the 53L1X up to 4 meters, and the 53L0X up to 2 meters. So the 6180 is 50 centimeters. So what does that work out to?
It's like 1.5 feet, 1.8 feet, something like that.
Okay. So the 53
Half a meter.
series, so the 53 series actually performs greater distance than the 61 series.
It's 53L01 does 4 meters, or 53L0.
The L1X does 4 meters. But it has a dead zone. It has a greater dead zone too. It's dead between 0 and 4 centimeters.
Okay.
Oh, whatever. That's nothing.
Hey, it's something. It's 4
We're
centimeters.
gonna crash. It's already hitting us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the first 4 centimeters, first inch and a half from the sensor, inch and a half away, is the dead zone. Whoop-de-doo.
You know why, don't you?
It's probably out of focus or something right there.
It's because light travels so fast that it can't switch that fast.
I believe it. Yes, sir, I believe you.
Well, it sounds good anyway.
Yep.
So So yeah, I must have one of the 53 series because I know I was getting at least 6 foot off of those things. So I just need to figure out which sensor I've got, and then I need to
4 meters. That's like 12 feet
12 feet.
away. That's actually a good distance. Quite as. Then what's the accuracy? Repeatable accuracy.
Measuring it. I
Like
don't really see
how
an
tight can
accuracy.
it say?
Oh,
Within 1 millimeter.
That's pretty good.
27 degrees.
We don't know.
27 degrees. It uses 940 nanometer light.
Okay.
Where the 6180 uses 850 nanometer light. But I don't see an accuracy per se. My guess would be 4 centimeters. Seems to be the dead zone would be 4 centimeters.
No, I'm talking about like if it responds with a value. Is that value going to be a 10-bit, 8-bit number?
Oh, I don't see that anywhere.
And is it going to be able to like tell me the difference between the obstacle is 87.2 millimeters away or 87 or 89 millimeters away? Because that would be pretty freaking cool.
Now let me dig mine out. I'll play around with them. I'll see what I can do.
You don't have to, but hey.
But I've been going through my old code anyway, so this is a good excuse to go through some more old code.
Right.
But,
have you actually been printing any lately? 3D printing?
I printed a happy cap for the grandkid's birthday because she wanted a happy cap.
Okay.
But no, I haven't really been
I told you
printing
before, we
anything.
got a whole bunch of rolls of filament in. We got some silk, some PETG, PLA. Really fun.
I might. You got any TPU?
I don't remember if we got TPU. We might have. I don't remember.
I do want to start playing with some of the more exotic filament.
Like silk?
No, I don't like silk. I tried silk. I don't like it. The ended up with I think this print was printed with something called e-silk or something like that.
Okay.
And that seemed to work really well with the printers, but silk, my printers just hated it. Just absolutely hated it. I could not
I think it depends on the design that you're doing. We've done some little vases and trash cans and dragons, and the silk had turned out beautiful.
Well,
so
I have read that each roll of silk is unique, and you might get really good prints from one roll, and you won't get hardly any good prints from another roll. But
okay.
I've got 3 printers set up, 3 printers, and I could not get it to adhere to the bed of any of them. And I know at least 2 of them are as close to level as I could possibly get.
Okay.
And The maybe I will try silk again when I get this level kit. But I could not get the stuff to adhere to the bed. Even the e-silk had some problems adhering to the bed, but I overcame those. That was just a couple of tweaks in the setting in the slicing software, and I fixed it.
Yeah.
But I tried all kinds of stuff to get the silk that we were using to work, and I could not get it to work. Could not get it to adhere to the bed. Tried different
Okay.
prints, different settings, different combinations of temperature, different combinations of cooling. Just could not get it to adhere to the bed. So I don't like silk. I do want to try like TPU. Um I know my old printer will print TPU. I think my other printers will too. This is some of that e-silk stuff though. And it printed pretty good. It
Okay.
instead of a multicolor kind of deal like the silk is, this
Yeah.
is it's a single color going into the extruder, but it's multicolor on the spool. So one color will fade into another color. So this one's kind of
Oh, okay.
so this one's kind of green grayish kind of
So it's
deal.
just fading. It's almost just like a pastel, fading
Yes.
pastel.
Yes.
But it's not a multi-chromatic, multi-color thing.
No,
So,
the silk is multi there's like three different pieces of filament going into it or whatever. This is probably shows it better. This dragon.
so
It fades
with
from kind of a blue to a purple.
okay.
So this the e-silk stuff seems to work really well. I mean, there were some tweaks to get it to adhere to the bed, but it seems to do a really good job in the printer. The printer, you have to really lower the temperature on silk too. It wants to be printed at a really low temperature, and
Wow. Okay.
it's a very soft. It's a very soft filament. The worst problem I had was getting it out of the extruder. When it was time to, put it away, I had to actually tell it to extrude and then push the little holder thingy and pull it out really fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not without its problems, but I got it to work. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like TPU, I want to print some wheels and stuff. That would be fun. And I think TPU would work really well for that.
I agree. Yeah.
But I do. I want to try some more exotic filaments. What temperature do you usually set your prints for?
I'm doing PLA at 225.
Okay.
And the bed temperature at about 63.
Okay.
As far as like when I prep the bed, I just use acetone, and
Right.
I know that there's some PLA on the glass from previous, and I just smear it around.
Right.
I'm not trying to strip all the PLA off of the glass substrate. I want it to be on there actually.
I do 215 and 50. And that seems to work pretty well with mine, but the eSilk wants to be printed at like 200.
Wow, that's low.
Yeah. Yeah, it will actually start extruding at about 190, but it doesn't print real well at 190. It prints
So
really
all
nice at 200. Oh, you broke up. You broke up.
All the new boxes of filaments that we got, my filament of material, the boxes of filament material, they say the extruding temperature and the bed temperature on them, on the box.
That's interesting.
So I guess recommended settings.
All the filament I've got usually have a range, but they don't recommend it. It doesn't have anything for bed settings. It's just a range for the filament. But 215 seems to work really well for the PLA that I've got. And when I tried to print the eSilk stuff that hot, it kind of got goopy, and it was nasty. It was it. I was okay. I'll turn the temperature down. I'll actually read the box and see what the box says. 200.
That stuff was kind of like just dripping out of the extruder.
Yeah, and it was just nasty.
Yeah.
And its maximum was I think 205, but the little piece of paper inside the box said the best setting was probably 200. And based on what I saw, 200 works really, really well. So it probably was right.
Well, I lost my styrofoam.
Oh no.
I just happened to be looking behind me. I lost my styrofoam.
Oh no. Hey, you know what? We've been having so much fun. I didn't even realize it's after 7.
I know.
So that might explain why food is getting ready to walk in the door.
Oh, okay.
So we're virtual again next week. So I will see everybody next week, hopefully.
Okay.
And I'm calling it a night because I'm hungry.
Everybody have a good week.
You too. You too. We'll see you later.
Take care.
I'll see you later, man. Bye.